Then we're back with another episode of Before You Buy, that show where we give you some straight up gameplay and our first impressions of the latest games releasing. But today, and like we've been doing here and there, we're talking about a game that didn't just release. We're talking about Grand Theft Auto Online in 2020. And yeah, this isn't a game you technically buy. You really buy Grand Theft Auto 5, one of the biggest monsters in gaming that hasn't really stopped yet. So we figured, why not, you know? Grand Theft Auto Online launched 2 weeks after GTA 5 actually dropped on October 1st, 2013. Yes, you read that right, 2013. This is an incredibly ongoing game that has really changed the course of Rockstar Games' history, like it or not. People have loved the game, people have had really big issues with the game, and yep, either way, in 2020, people are still playing it. To be completely honest, here at gameranx, we've barely touched it since its launch. You know, we've hopped in occasionally for a few events here and there throughout the years and had some fun and popped in, but we wanted to cut to the core of why people obsess over this game and have played it for so long. We wanted to take a quick look at what this product definitively is today in 2020. So for the past week, you know, created a new character completely from scratch and dove in to kind of experience what a newcomer would face, you know, with fresh eyes. So we're taking the newcomer approach here, you know, not as someone who has spent 1,000 hours in the game and has things to nitpick, because frankly, this community runs so deep, I'm not even going to try to pretend to understand it all. That would be a fool's game, and I would lie to you. But we figured, you know, we've never really talked about this one, so we're just going to outline what to expect if you're out there like, you know, maybe I should really try this thing that survived for so long. And, oh boy, like, where to begin? There's a lot here. There's some junk and some issues, but also a lot of weird and crazy fun to be had, especially if you have some patience. This game has so much content in it after so many years, it's almost insane. So the first thing you'll notice jumping in is that it's overwhelming. Like, it's crazy how much is immediately thrown at you. There's a good intro and some early setup missions before you're totally out on your own, and then when you are, it's chaos, you know, matchmaking invites, NPCs are blowing up your phone, you're getting texts and emails telling you to buy stuff and do heists, and Rockstar is giving you little menu tips in the top corner all the time like they always do, and you're expected to remember all of them. Don't worry, you'll figure it out. You'll figure out the settings and notifications and stuff later. Players are running by though, gunning you down in the streets. There are hover bikes, there are crazy cars, explosions everywhere. It's a lot, but it's kind of worth it to sit down and figure it out because it's surprisingly deep. You know, you jump in at the start and you create a character. It's pretty much close to how it's been from the game's launch with a few new tweaks, and you get acclimated and you're dumped into the world. And the thing is here is reputation points increase your character's rank. It's how you progress as a character, and you earn RP through doing, you know, pretty much everything out in the open world. But you earn more by doing online matches, completing missions and jobs, and just winning. And then you get enough RP to level up and increase your rank and get access to more cool stuff in the game world, like car customization items and gun stuff. Your character also has attributes to worry about too, like driving and shooting skill and lung capacity type stuff. That progression is cute, but the real key to everything here is cash. You need cash for basically everything. To buy better clothes, to get a cool car, to get insurance on that car, to buy properties to live in and store your car, to businesses of all kinds, everything in between. Kind of like real life. And kind of like real life, the money you earn here is like the gateway to the rest of it being interesting. It starts out whatever, but you do jobs and save up for your first place, and then you can go from there. The whole thing is around money and getting cooler stuff. That's the progression, and it's a lot like real life. The game gives you lots of ways to do it, you know, and earn money, from matchmaking into separate events to just messing around in the open world. There is a lot of opportunity, and there is also, of course, microtransactions. You know, if you haven't heard of shark cards, it's essentially an in-game purchase with real-world money to then get a chunk of in-game GTA money. So yes, certain things require lots of in-game money, and yes, there is a grind, and that level of grind has kind of been a debate that has ebbed and flowed throughout the lifetime of GTA Online. For certain things, the grind can seem steep, and you're able to buy your way out of some of that, and that's not very cool at all. It's like monetizing instant gratification. You know, this has been an ongoing battle in gaming for a while, so remember, vote with your wallet. And maybe don't go to the in-game casino other than for the mission stuff, because I don't know, know, that stuff feels dicey to me, but that's my personal opinion. So there is a lot to keep you busy. That, like I said, you know, there are the heists, which is like one of the main things. They're multi-layered group missions that get pretty complex with planning and scripted events, and it's almost like a single player thing, but with friends, and lots of tweaks you can do to each one to make them pretty damn replayable too. There's really fun for different reasons, and they vary quite a bit, but the newest is the Diamond Casino Heist, although I wasn't able to get enough friends together or successfully matchmake into one because of my level, and that's fine. Still, there is some quality content here. The rest, for me, is just messing around in the open world. You know, it's kind of like Roblox for adults, although I expect there are lots of kids playing this game, judging by the quality of player when I was on the console version. But it's really about all of the diversions that the game is filled with to keep you busy. You know, yes, you can do dumb shenanigans alone or with friends in the open GTA world, which is fun, and still from a technological standpoint, really impressive after all these years. Rob convenience stores, steal cars, shoot people, run from cops, kill yourselves and others, all while earning money and RP. And then there's all the other stuff. The game has in-world events constantly running that you can either passively engage in or ignore. You know, like stuff like whoever on the map causes the most damage in 5 minutes wins, or whoever can hit the longest distance, you know, in a jump in a car. Stuff like that keeps it constantly kind of flowing and interesting. And there are random missions, repo stuff, races, stunts you can do and hop into at any time and matchmake. And they've only gotten crazier and more complex over time. Over-the-top stunt missions, crazier races, including off-road ones, and a whole damn thing like with Formula 1 racing, complete with racetracks and a pit stop, which I actually really like this mode. There's also races where you don't have a map and you have to have a partner in the passenger seat that you have to rely on to help navigate. All kinds of spins on deathmatch, like a slasher asymmetrical mode. Dude, there's so much here. It's really kind of actually ridiculous, but it makes things really fun and adventurous almost constantly, and I can see why people keep playing this game, down to the amount of options. If you want to play a deathmatch mode, first person pistols only, you can. There is so much freedom, it's like almost staggering. Then there's Arena War too, I forgot to mention it. You know, it's not only arena demolition derby races, but it has different modes within that can get extremely complex, like one with where one team observes and sets traps while cars drive around. And then that whole thing has a deep thing where you can actually buy into your own car mechanic shop for your team and build out your vehicles. And speaking of that, when you establish your own business, you can become a CEO, which comes with CEO missions and all these other things to mess with. Really, all of this, from high up stuff down to buying a cool mask or a jacket or getting a gun upgrade or making your gun pink or buying a spoiler for your race car. It's just good expression and customization that keeps players messing around and having fun. From outrageous vehicles like kind of DeLoreans and hover bikes to an alien zapper gun and running around in your underwear. Like, it's just, yes, it's that type of wacky, dumb game, but almost with like an MMO level of stuff to mess around with and keep yourself busy, along with new events and updates and stuff. Really, this video I can only do for so long, like I'm only scratching the surface. Just get used to loading screens and matchmaking screens. If you're trying to jump into stuff, you have to have patience. Oftentimes you'll get into a match and you'll get kicked out or lose connection with Rockstar or whatever, a variety of different reasons. And then you're stuck waiting to load back into an open world because the game sometimes pulls you out of it. This is sometimes the case kind of frequently, and it's frustrating and leads to a lot of downtime. So many people are playing and everyone is diving into a completely different game mode or trying to get into one or making their own. So I get things get a little complicated on the back end, but yeah, wasted time in game is something that I'm not a fan of, and it is definitely here sometimes. Still, like I said, love it or hate it, Grand Theft Auto Online is a massive Grand Theft Auto game just packed with things to do. It's almost like stumbling over itself at this point. Like, even I had a couple frame rate issues just because the game world is so packed with stuff that almost like the game wasn't even designed to have in the first place. It's really crazy impressive. Some of all this stuff to do requires some grinding or some frustration, and it has microtransactions that really bother people, but I mean when I say that this is more like a platform or an MMO or like a weird creative game over anything else. People hang out in this game. People mess around in this game. People mod these games. People cheat these games. And people really enjoy them. Even if I don't think I'm going to be diving back into this very often anymore, I still really appreciate Grand Theft Auto Online. On a personal note, I still very much like their single-player games more. That is what I value Rockstar Games for. I'm sure a lot of you guys in the comments probably do too. So I really am hoping that they don't stick with this forever. I don't think they will. But either way, I don't know. This is a before you buy. You know how this goes down by now. I give you some pros, some cons, and some personal opinion. Now I want to hear yours down in the comments. What type of player are you? Did you play GTA 5 and then hop into online and just kind of get bored? Have you hopped in periodically throughout the years like me, just a little bit? Or are you hardcore into it for life? Or are you just completely not into Grand Theft Auto Online at all, which I can completely understand if you just want your single-player games. I'm with you, dude. Let's talk about anything GTA Online down in the comments. If you enjoyed this video, though, and this little trip down a weird memory Grand Theft Auto lane, clicking the like button helps us out a ton. We appreciate that. And if you're new, consider subscribing, because we put out videos every single day. Either way, though, thanks for watching. We'll see you guys next time.